The Symphony of Two Witches. In the heart of the land of Oz, two young women stood on the balcony of Shiz University. Elphaba, who had skin the color of a fresh emerald and a mind sharper than a dragon's tooth, stared at the horizon. Glinda, who shimmered in pink and wore a smile that could brighten the darkest room, adjusted her sparkling tiara. They were as different as night and day, yet a strange gray shadow creeping across the distant hills bound them together in worry. "The Great Wizard says it's just a passing mist," Glinda whispered, her voice trembling like a flute's high note. But Elphaba knew better. She held an ancient book of spells that hummed with a low, rhythmic vibration. "It's not a mist, Glinda. It's a silence," Elphaba said. "The music of Oz is being stolen. Look at the birds. They fly, but they do not sing. We have to find the source before the whole world goes quiet." Glinda didn't like breaking rules, and Elphaba didn't like trusting anyone. But as they watched a flower turn gray and crumble, they knew they had no choice. "If we do this," Glinda said, clutching her wand, "we do it together. I have the light, and you have the power." Elphaba nodded, her black cape fluttering. They didn't realize it then, but their hearts were beginning to beat in the same rhythm of courage. They set off on Elphaba's broomstick, soaring high above the yellow brick road. Glinda gripped Elphaba's waist, her pink dress whipping in the wind. Below them, the land of Oz looked like a giant tapestry. As they flew, they began to hum a melody, a song of protection they had learned in class. The broomstick seemed to pulse with the rhythm, moving faster as their voices harmonized. Suddenly, the sky darkened. A swarm of shadow monkeys made of smoke and silence rose to meet them. They didn't screech. They only moved with a chilling, soundless speed. "They're trying to drown out our song," Elphaba shouted. She swung her broom, casting sparks of green fire, but the shadows were too many. They needed something more than just power. They needed a bridge between their magics. "Glinda, sing with me," Elphaba cried out. Glinda took a deep breath and began a high, operatic note that pierced the gloom. Elphaba added her deep, resonant tone. As their voices joined, a physical wave of golden and green light erupted from them. The shadow monkeys dissolved into stardust. The adventure was no longer just about saving Oz. It was about the beautiful melody they created when they worked as one. They landed in a clearing to rest. A young guard named Fiyero, who had been searching for the source of the silence, found them there. He looked at Elphaba with admiration, and at Glinda with a gentle smile. "The wizard has hidden the heart of harmony in the great clock," Fiyero warned. "He thinks Oz is easier to rule if no one can sing or speak their truth." Elphaba felt a spark of something new, a feeling of being understood by both a friend and a hero. Glinda walked over to Elphaba and Fiyero, her expression determined. "Then we take it back," she said. "The wizard might have the throne, but we have the music." She handed Elphaba a small, glowing charm, a gift of friendship. At that moment, the romantic magic of the moonlit night and the strength of their alliance felt unbreakable. They were no longer just students, they were the protectors of Oz. They reached the great clock in the Emerald City. The wizard tried to stop them with illusions of gold and power, but Glinda saw through the glitter, and Elphaba shattered the silence with a final, powerful spell. Together they struck the great clock, and a massive chime rang out, vibrating through every leaf and stone in the land. The gray mist evaporated, replaced by the vibrant colors of a world reborn. As the sun rose over a singing Oz, Glinda and Elphaba stood atop the clock tower. The people below were cheering, their voices a beautiful chorus. Fiyero waved from the square. The two witches looked at each other, knowing they had changed Oz forever. They had found that the greatest magic wasn't in a wand or a book, but in the harmony of an unlikely friendship and the courage to save the world together.